Welcome back, NFL fans, to another episode of Necessary Roughness. It is a weekly NFL show, and this week we are diving into some mock off seasons for. Oh, spoilers! We're diving into some mock off seasons for the top two picks in the NFL draft. Nick went ahead and worked on the Bears offseason plan, and I worked on Houston. So before we dive into all of that, Nick, my friend, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good, man. How are you? Excited for this.
Yeah,
First two picks of the draft, they need a lot of help, so let's help them out.
yeah, definitely. They do need some help. We'll start with the Texans. And the way we'll lay this out for you guys is we'll go through any extensions, restructures, cuts we made, and then some, priority free agent deals that we mocked up for the team. Um, I'll go with the Texans. Nick will do that part with the Bears, and then we're actually going to do a live mock draft. Um, as long as I can effectively share my screen and I can work out all the technology of it. Um, we will be going through that as well, and we'll just mock for the two teams we're rebuilding right now, and kind of see where we land. As far as trades on the mock draft go, we're only going to trade within the first round. That meaning we'll only trade our first round picks if we do any trading. Once we get into second, third round, we'll stick and pick and see how we can round out these rosters. So without further ado, I will jump into the Texans. And Nick, feel free to stop me at any time if you disagree or think any of these moves are particularly sick. So we're gonna fix the Houston
Yeah.
Texans. I think when you zoom out a little bit, I did a lot of the this work through overthecap.com, SpoTrack, um, finding out how the money works and everything like that. But I think priority one and two, or 1A and 1B, are your tackle positions in Houston. Laremy Tunsil is coming off a season where he was quite arguably the best left tackle in football, and
hmm
opposite him is Titus Howard, who just started to come into his own this past season. Was really solid on the right side. And I think, and those guys are both expiring. I think the first order of business is creating a safe and uh, productive environment around whoever we bring in at quarterback. And with two bookend tackles like this for the foreseeable future, the duration of this quarterback's rookie deal that we may select in this upcoming draft, we've got one of the best left tackles in football who's going into his age 29 season. Um, we saw Trent Williams get that big 6-year deal when around this age for him. He might have already been 30 or over 30, but um, I think 5 years, 125 mil is good for Laramie Tunsil. It's about 40 million guaranteed at signing, um, and that could actually lower his cap hit by close to 14 mil this season, um, with the way that extension works out. So in actual new money, it's 5 years, 125 mil. Keeps him on the roster for 6 seasons, including this 2023 season, and totals out around 6 years, 153 or 163 mil or so. Astronomical cap hit right now for Tunsil. So only makes sense to extend and lighten that load a little bit as they move into free agency. And Titus Howard, I went with a deal that's comparable to that of Jack Conklin. Um,
hmm
at right tackle. So this isn't the upper echelon. We're not sniffing Lane Johnson, Ryan Ramczyk money, but for a young tackle, as the market continues to reset itself, I thought that was a pretty good range for him to land, and felt pretty realistic for me there. So as they uh, right as they start, or I guess as it stands right now. The Texans do have a decent amount of cap space. I'll grab the exact number quick as I cannot remember off the top of my head, but it's it's relatively significant to start. And like I said, they create some more room in 2023 with the Tunsil extension. They're sitting just over 36 mil in the positive right now, with plenty of room to create. So The Titus Howard deal leaves his 2023 number in a similar range to the 13 that it's at right now. But Tunsil's number would come down from 35 to just over 20, and give them a little bit of flexibility there. A couple of the easier cuts were they've got a lot of veteran defenders on this team, and I'll get into a few more of those as we kind of move through this thought exercise a little bit more. But the obvious ones to me were a pre-June 1st designation for Christian Kirksey, only about $1 million in dead cap, so it clears most of his cap hit, and I want to say he's actually 30. So for a linebacker, this is a good time to move off him. And Malik Collins, who and we'll designate him post June 1st to clear the most space. But I think that's a pretty easy cut to make as well, pretty inconsequential. Some guys that I considered cutting but didn't. One's Jerry Hughes, mostly because I'm not sure where else he wants to go. If he's back for another season, he was their most productive pass rusher last season. So I could see them just retaining him or just kind of leaving him on the deal he's on, letting him play it out. 33, I want to say Hughes is. And I think, I think he could still bring some to the table. He's only making just over $6 million at the moment. And I think he still could be pretty effective. Another one's Mario Addison. He's 36.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he's going to retire or what's going on. If he doesn't, I could see them cutting him. It only clears about $2 million, so they might just roster him. They're not desperate for space, so he might be a guy they continue to roster. But I could see Jerry Hughes sticking around just kind of as a veteran leader of that defense. Some other guys who are on the last year of their deal are Desmond King, who plays slot corner. I got to think they just kind of let him stay where he's at. He's on a bargain deal right now. I want to say it's around $4 million or something like that. Yeah, just over $4 million. They've also got Steven Nelson and Eric Murray, some defensive backs that are making significant numbers. But again, I didn't find it like a huge urgent need to move off of those guys because you're going to have to replace them either way. So there are going to be some holes on this defense almost everywhere. I like Derek Stingley. I like Jalen Petrie. That's about it. So the first position I wanted to target was edge. And with the DeMeco Ryans hire, I think a guy that makes a lot of sense is Samson Ebukam out of San Francisco. He was a rotational pass rusher for them this past season. Really solid production. Could be taking that next step in his career. He's just about to turn 27, I want to say. And a deal I like for him, he might be over 27. A deal I like for him is 2 years, $19 million. Probably something like $9-10 million guaranteed. And I think this could be a 2-year deal just because he could be in a position where he wants to be able to come back to the negotiating table relatively soon, especially if given more opportunity in a much thinner defensive line room in Houston. I could see him increasing his own stock and maybe playing his way into a bigger contract down the road. So I think he might want a shorter deal so he can kind of reevaluate his cap number if he does outproduce it. Another guy who I think would fit pretty well, DeMeco Ryans will run everything. Though he'll run the gamut on the back end with the coverages. He'll run quarters. He'll run cover 2. He'll run 3. They do the 2 high, single high stuff. He kind of runs everything, and I think a guy who would complement Derek Stingley on the outside is Rock Ya-Sin. A little tough to envision him leaving Gus Bradley. Followed him from Vegas over to Indy, but he's a great cover 3 corner. Good boundary guy. Doesn't move great laterally, but he does well to take away the boundary. Plays really good off zone, and could fit into some of the things DeMeco wants to do over there. I could see them running a lot of single high. They like to move Petrie down into the box. He'll play some slot. So I think he kind of solidifies the opposite boundary to Derek Stingley. It's where Steven Nelson's been playing. I could see them moving on from him at age 30 and going a little younger with Rocky Sin. Another guy to go alongside Jalen Petrie on the back end I like is Taylor Rapp. This is a guy D'Amico just saw twice a year in Los Angeles, and this could be a very, very similar situation to John Johnson III walking from the Rams to go play in the AFC. He got 3 years, 30 even. I went 3 years, 36 for Taylor Rapp. Kind of finally had that breakout year last season. But the Rams just might not be in a position to where they feel like they need to re-sign a guy like this. And they might be a little bit hamstrung by their cap situation as well, especially if they're unable to move off of a guy like Jalen Ramsey before the league year kicks off. A bargain bin kind of guy is Devin Bush. Could see him getting a similar prove-it deal to like who was it last year? A 1 year, $3 million deal. I think it was for Alex or Anthony Walker. No, he's on a bigger deal. Anyway, there was a very comparable linebacker that just got a 1 year, $3 million prove-it deal. Cannot for the life of me think of his name right now, but I thought it would be something in that range. This is probably 1 year, 3, fully guaranteed in that first season with, kind of a prove-it year, come back on a bigger number or come back and come to some extension talks if it works out because he's really young. I think it'll be his age 25 season. I think he's still 24 right now. So that could be a huge one. Another prove-it deal is that a Mike Gesicki could get one kind of like the Hooper deal, kind of like the Hayden Hurst deal. And I like 1 year, $10 million for Gesicki. This is kind of a, hey, you're not going to get tagged by the Dolphins. Let's see if you can fit in over here, be a bit of a safety blanket for our rookie QB. And if it works out, maybe it's an Evan Ingram situation. Hey, come play for a year, $9 million, resurrect your career a little bit. And now it looks like he's in extension talks for his kind of second wind of his career, pairing with a young quarterback. So I could see that working out similarly with Bryce or CJ or whomever we end up with. And the final piece to go around our incumbent rookie quarterback is speedster Mecole Hardman. And I think this is an area they might invest a little bit more long term. He's going to be that deep threat that a young quarterback would like to have, and you've got some really big arms in this class. But he's also that kind of guy who you can use horizontally in your offense. He's great in the screen game. He's great in the jet sweep kind of stuff. So opens up a lot of doors for that offensive play caller, and that's a fit that I like. So that's sort of where I left off. The only other thing to add to this equation is what seems like a pretty inevitable trade of Brandon Cooks.
Yeah.
And, it's he for a consistent 1,000-yard per season wide receiver, he gets traded a lot. But anyway, I think this trade probably leaves him fetching maybe a 5th, maybe a 6th. I don't think the return's going to be too significant on Cooks, especially when the team who brings Cooks on is going to take on a significant amount of the 2023 cap number. I think it's about 18 million of it. And it only clears just under 8 million for Houston. But it just doesn't sound like that is a relationship that's going to be maintained by the Houston front office, and we've heard rumors to that effect. So I like Hardman kind of as that replacement. We've got big Nico Collins on the outside, and this is a deep wide receiver class as well. So we'll see what we can fetch in the mid rounds for pass catches. But I like Gesicki and Hardman along with Nico Collins to kind of usher in the new quarterback and help him out along the way. So that was a little long-winded, but that's sort of where we ended up. We've got our starting outside cornerbacks. We've got our 2 starting safeties. The secondary is locked and loaded. Desmond King's back to play slot. We've got Devin Bush replacing Christian Kirksey. Maybe he wears that green dot this year. Mike Gesicki comes in. It was a pretty desolate tight end room for the Texans. We let those guys walk, and we'll bring on Gesicki for that. Hey, it worked out for Evan Ingram in Jacksonville. Let's see if we can find something similar. And then McCole Hardman, I think, really opens it up for the play caller on the offensive side and allows them to do a lot of different things and utilize his speed to create some opportunities. So I think what we improve. It's not going to be a 1-year fix, but I think what we improve kind of moving through these phases is going to be pretty significant. And I think this team could be primed to take a step forward, especially in a division that's pretty wide open. Jacksonville looks to be kind of that early favorite, but hey, they were nowhere near the early favorite at the beginning of this season. And all it took was a number 1 pick for them and a little bit of retooling. So if we can get that premium quarterback, if we can surround him with, some semblance of weapons, if we can skip the Urban Meyer year, this could be a real threat in the AFC South. And it's not a good team right now. So that tells you how bad the division is. I say push some chips in. You might be able to win the division this year. Who knows? Which would be, hey, I have no idea who's going to win that division. If it's not Jacksonville, beats the hell out of them. Could be any of the other 3, Yeah. So I think from that sort of standpoint, you're saying, hey, we can make some noise this year. So let's stay young, but let's go get some impact players.
Yeah.
And that was sort of my mentality moving through. So got off some vets. This roster it just started to turn over last season. There's still so many older players, so many older contracts that we're still working on phasing out. It's probably this offseason and next before it's like a clean slate to the point where we're really on an upward trajectory. But I think they could skip a step or two with a well-navigated offseason. So that's where we kind of are going into the draft for Houston. So for Chicago, as you kind of started moving through this exercise, what was your first order of business?
So, hi everyone, welcome to the show. So they have 98.6 million in cap space. So I tried to tool this like really interestingly because I think that they have the capability to make some splash hits here. But it's gonna cost them a couple of guys that I don't think Bears fans would be so incredibly happy about letting go of, but it's gonna get you guys somebody else that you may not have thought of that's even possible. So what I did was Riley Reif, the O lineman, I think he leaves, as does N'Keal Harry, as does Dante Pettis. They're all gone, right? So if they leave, and then I'm also gonna let Byron Pringle leave.
Okay.
So I'm doing that, and then the O lineman Sam Mustipher. A lot of Bears fans don't know if they want him to stay. It's been a long, rocky road with him, but he's at the same time, he's still pretty solid, and they do need that offensive line help to help Justin Fields. So I kept on going back and forth. I do think he stays. I think they just have this whole love triangle thing with him and the head coach, and I don't know. It's just he'll probably stay. So I'm going to keep him, and then so we're getting rid of Pringle, Reif, Harry, Pettis, and then Justin Jones, Cody Whitehair, and Breon Borders are all going to get cut. Even though Whitehair had a really good season, he's one of the premier guys that they have up front. He's kind of getting up there in age, and I don't think that I think they'd rather go in a different direction. So who they're going to sign is the biggest signing they're going to get is Dalton Schultz from Dallas for 4 years, $47.5 million. I think that they could kind of maneuver that. Obviously, Cole Kmet's a good player, but you really want to get Justin Fields that security blanket guy. And I don't think Cole's been exactly that over his first, few. I don't know. It's just you can kind of see it click when it happens, and it just didn't work as well as I thought it would this year. So why not get him a big, a hard-nosed, big type of receiver, go up and get it type guy like Dalton Schultz is really coming his own with Dak and that offense in Dallas. The next signing they're going to make is they're going to get DJ Chark. They're going to sign him 1 year, $12 million. I think that kind of makes up for Byron and N'Keal Harry leaving. Harry was a decent guy to pick up from the Patriots. Obviously didn't work out there. I thought that he actually played better in Chicago than he ever played in New England. But if we let those two guys go, we can get DJ Chark, who's he's a seasoned veteran at this point, and he's proven himself to be somebody that can help a young quarterback like Justin Fields progress in his career. And then the second biggest one, they're getting Levante David, signing 3 years for $42.5 million. And I think that kind of just solidifies that linebacker group. There's been a lot of talk about potentially Tremaine Edmonds going to Chicago, and it's just like, he kind of screams that whole culture. But at the end of the day, I do think he resigns with Buffalo. And there's also been talk about Jordan Poyer going to Chicago, but Jordan literally just said on his podcast he wants to go somewhere where it's not cold. So I'm pretty sure he's going to Miami or somewhere like that. If it's not Buffalo, it's not going to be Chicago. That makes no sense. So it's not going to be Poyer. If they get some other safety, maybe it'll be like in the draft, but I don't think they get a free agent safety. But yeah, we're going to go Chark, Schultz, and David as big signings. And then obviously those other guys are leaving. And then at the end of the day, they're able to get somebody who can help, two guys that can really help Justin Fields in the passing game, which he desperately needs.
Mm-hmm.
So that when he goes off and runs, it's like defenses are kind of, they're still guarding, so it's not like such an obvious thing. Justin Fields is going. Of course he is. Nobody's open. At least Chark and Schultz have that capability of getting open. It'll really help his progression, in my opinion. And then Levante David, somebody that if they're able to sign him and attain him, that's a big signing. You want a veteran presence like that. He's coming from a really good defensive system in Tampa where he's been for years. And I think that'll just progress their defense as well.
Yeah, David's got to still have a little bit of gas left in the tank. We've seen Demario Davis continue to perform at a high level, 34, I think he's pushing. Yeah. David's 32, maybe 31.
Yeah.
But he's just such a smart player. I like that signing a lot. And one that DJ Chark earned it. He had a great year on kind of a prove it 1 year, $4 million deal.
Yeah.
With Detroit, and Chicago saw that in person.
Yeah.
So I think especially when you have a guy like Claypool who plays some like big slot, and then you put burners like Chark and Mooney on the outside. Mm-hmm. Dalton Schultz is a tremendous blocker, as well as a good pass catcher. I really like how that offense kind of comes together. And I think, obviously the defense has so many holes, but I think what's most important, and Poles said he's not trading that first overall, or he's not trading Justin Fields. As part of that first overall pick situation. So I think it makes sense kind of how you approached it to kind of get the environment around Justin Fields in order first, because you've only got so many seasons of him on his rookie deal, so many seasons where, he's still as durable as he is, where he's still as electric as he is. Yeah. So if you just keep letting him get beat up and I mean, he had the worst. Justin Jefferson had more catches than all Chicago Bears receivers combined last season.
Yeah.
So getting Justin some help, you might see some more competent quarterback play out of him to go along with the legs. So I like this approach so far. Any other free agent signings before we jump into some recap and move on to the mock?
I also was thinking about potentially linking them to Allen Lazard, and I've also seen Green Bay being linked to DJ Chark. So maybe Lazard goes to Chicago and Chark goes to Green Bay.
Sure.
That could happen. I could also see Chark going to Chicago. I could also maybe see both of them going to Chicago. I mean, they really need that help. So if Poles wants to make that move and really make a splash in that receiver room to get both Lazard and DJ Chark would be pretty good. But yeah, so I've seen Lazard being linked to Chicago. I've seen Chark being linked there too. I think both are possibilities, but I do think that one will probably go to one new NFC North team, or maybe somewhere completely different. I don't know. You never really know at the end.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm interested to see how they approach like the veteran defender market. You brought in David here, and I think it makes sense to get a couple, at least one vet to kind of get everyone's shit together. Just
Yeah,
kind of a central beacon on that defense. Roquan's gone. Let's just get
yeah,
another Mike Backer in place who can really command this defense, along with guys like Eddie Jackson up the middle. But it's like maybe the worst defensive line in football, but at the same time, like it's like how much money are they going to go out and spend on veteran like Javon Hargrave or stuff? Like I've seen that a lot with Chicago. Speculation, like how much are they really going to sink into older players like that?
yeah.
When I mean you're right in the middle of a rebuild like this. So I think going offense, going young, and then this is probably a pretty heavy couple of defensive drafts before that unit is fully back to relevancy. So they've got some pieces that are a little unproven, but it's tough to get much worse on either side of the ball. So I think they just got to get some guys in the building, and we'll see how the draft goes here. But you'll be on the clock here in just a couple minutes. I want to make sure I can set up the screen share and everything. Do you have a preference between PFF and PFN mock draft simulators?
I think I don't care. Whatever you
Okay.
want to do.
Okay. We'll see what's top of the Google algorithm if I just search it here. Pro Football Network comes up first. Hopefully I'll see when it's updated. So it'll tell you when it's most recently updated sometimes. Okay, this was just updated a week ago.
Okay.
So value and everything should be pretty close to where it's at right now. And I will be clicking the buttons, so you'll have to let me know who you're taking and everything, but I'll select Bears and Texans.
I feel like Ryan Poles right now.
Let's draft. Dude, yeah, the world's his oyster.
Yeah, it is.
All right, and you've got offers, actually. I didn't know it was going to work like this. Hang on.
Of course I do.
Yeah, dude, you got offers. All right.
Dude,
Let me know if this is working correctly.
I mean,
what are you seeing? Is it
I'm
showing?
not
Oh, I got to add it to the stream.
There we go. There we go.
Here we go. And we're to the side. Oh, wrong. Here we go. Do you see it?
Oh, this is why you called yourself a genius earlier, yeah?
Yeah, because I'm just logically enough. Yeah, I know. I was like, where is Nick? He just didn't have the link.
Yeah, we're good. All right. So
here's the first offer. You got
pick. I'm on the clock, yeah.
Do you like this one?
No, I don't like this one. Get them off the phone. Get them off the phone.
Hang on.
I want to trade the number 1 overall pick to Indianapolis though. So
let's see if we got an offer.
Are they offering me anything?
We don't like Carolina's offer. We don't like the Jets. We want Indy.
We
want Indy. There it is.
There we go. That's a great one.
Return?
That's a great one. I like that. I'm really liking that number 4 overall pick. I really like Will. I like Will Anderson Jr. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Joey Bosa. So I'm really liking that off the edge. If we can get Levante David and then he can kind of coach up Will Anderson Jr. a little bit, that would be ideal for my defense. And then we can get another pick in the 35-79. And then they can go ahead and take Bryce Young or CJ Stroud, get their quarterback situation sorted. I think that Indianapolis would totally do this.
I'm not going to offer you anything from 2. And I think that might happen in real life, I guess.
No, you're not offering me anything.
I'm not going to offer you anything from 2. So
okay.
If you like,
I don't want your pick. I don't want your pick.
I like 4. And I wouldn't give you this good of a return. 2024 first and second coming back. We'll go ahead and accept that for you.
Oh, look at Will Anderson right there. I want him.
Colts are on the clock. They go Stroud.
Wait, whoa, that's crazy.
Colts go Stroud. Our buddy Chris would like that. I think he's big on Stroud.
Okay. I thought Bryce Young would go number 1. Okay.
Yeah, me too. Um,
Okay, that's fine.
so that's really interesting. I could take 5, 20, 37, and a 2024 first from Seattle to move down 3 picks. Uh, j- no, I'm just gonna do it, guys. We've been talking about
Oh,
it.
you're just gonna do it. You're just
I'm just doing it.
gonna
All right.
All right, do
Shut up, Seahawks. Miles Murphy.
it.
Oh my
Oh, Miles
God.
Murphy was drafted number 3 out of Clemson. He's a good player,
He's a good
but
player. He's a good player.
that's a
You
good
don't want
pick.
this
I think
Carolina
that's
deal, do you?
well, I don't think GMs are trying to. I don't think they're allowed to make fun of other people. So I don't think we're making fun of them for that one. Hey, listen.
There is some footage of there is some footage from the war room of Rick Spielman and Mike Zimmer just laughing their asses off when Philly took Jalen Reagor.
I would be laughing my ass off if the Arizona
Oh,
took
I'm messing up
Murphy.
the thing, I think. Let's get back to it. All right.
Cool.
Oh, wrong one. All right. We're back.
Yeah. I mean,
So
personally, if I'm
we'll
Arizona, I'm not
reject
going with that pick. I would have taken Jalen Carter, but all right.
we'll reject yeah, right. Or Will Anderson. It sounds like you like Will Anderson at 4. Should I run that up to the
The
uh
problem is now I want Jalen Carter, but yeah, I want Jalen Carter now because
okay.
although Will is number 1 there on the board. Um, Listen, I'm still gonna go with my edge, Will Anderson, just because I think that he could really learn from Lamont a lot. If we're gonna secure both of those guys, I think that he fits the mold of what Levante does really well, a little bit more than Jalen Carter, and Jalen would kind of be on his own. So I'm gonna go with yeah. I'm still gonna take my guy, even though Jalen Carter's on the board.
Sounds good. We'll go Will Anderson there, and Jalen Carter is still on the board
Come
after
on.
Seattle takes Christian Gonzalez at 5. I actually really like that fit.
Yeah,
He would be
that's a
sick
good fit.
in Seattle.
They're gonna have to take Jalen Carter though. Will Levis.
Oh
Is
goodness, this is getting
Jeez.
nuts. All right,
It's the NFL draft.
this is the NFL draft, baby.
Will Levis. The golf thing is done.
Miles
Okay.
Murphy with a meteoric Trevon Walker rise to number 3,
Yeah.
and now we've got QBs flying off the board.
Well,
Carolina's not going
Vegas
to get
needed
one.
him.
Falcons go OT, first tackle off the board, and the Panthers take the Trevon Walker comp, and that's Tyree Wilson out of Texas Tech. Oh Christ, Philly goes trenches.
Oh my God. You're gonna get Jalen Carter at 12. This reminds me of that.
Jesus Christ, yeah, I am gonna get Jalen Carter at 12. No
This
thanks,
reminds me of
Raven.
that movie Draft Day, where the quarterback wasn't drafted because he was like a bad apple. Oh my God.
Dude, this is
This is
hilarious. Is there any other option? I don't think there is.
You can go
Um,
get the best defensive player in the draft at 12 right now.
yeah, man, that's nuts. No other glaring needs. We've got our offensive tackles. We've got our cornerbacks. I'm sprinting this to the podium.
I'm sprinting this one. Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
That's
Patriots, maybe
Houston
another
has gotten Houston has
first
gotten
round bust.
much, much better in this draft.
Patriots, another first round bust receiver. I'm not saying he's a bust. He just will if he goes to the Patriots.
But yeah. He's N'Keal Harry 2.0. That's
Oh,
not
here comes the run of cornerbacks.
Oh, okay. So Tampa, they're gonna get rid of Leonard Fournette and they're gonna get Robinson now. All right.
Yeah,
That's
well,
fine. I
not
really
a
need the
bad
Bills to
turnover.
get
Did like 3
Leonard.
hours before he got cut. Jason Light said he has like 3 more years in him of it being a 3-down back or something
Ooh, the
hilarious.
Jags take a tight end, so I guess they're assuming Ingram's leaving. See who the
Okay,
Bills go with. Are we gonna get somebody good? Oh, who the hell is
nice.
running back from Alabama?
I like Gibbs. That's a you're what's his nuts? Brandon Bean? Or is
Yeah,
that wrong? Yeah,
yeah. That's right.
he was just saying today how he doesn't mind taking a running back in the first round.
I'd rather get Leonard Fournette, but okay. All right.
At 33 now, Houston on the clock. You're right behind me at 35, and I'm gonna see.
Oh, I am. Oh
I
shoot.
don't
Okay.
like either of these deals, you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and reject those. I thought about trading down from here to begin with, but these are pretty awful offers, I think. And now, if it weren't for the Gesicki move,
Mhm.
I might slam Darnell Washington right here.
Okay.
But I am going to go ahead and go with an edge that I like a lot, and that's B.J. Ojulari.
Who is this linebacker from Alabama at 37? How do you say this guy's name?
Toa Toa.
So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you already know that Tony Romo is gonna love saying that guy's name.
Oh, yeah, dude.
All right.
38 and a future fourth for 35 and 220.
Yeah. You know who I'm really liking?
Who's that?
I'm really liking if he's still on the board, Osiris Torrance. Is he still there?
I think he went.
He went already? I really
Let's
like
see.
him.
He went at like 20. He went 23 to the Vikes, actually.
Oh yeah, I see that right there. Okay, in that case, I'd love to get Darnell Wright if he's still there, unless he was also taken. I think he's still
The
there.
tackle from.
Yeah, the tackle, Darnell Wright.
Did he go? I like Darnell Wright. I've seen him go
He
all
couldn't
over.
have got. He couldn't have gone that high up. He's it's very interesting.
They don't have him listed at guard, do they?
He's a tackle.
Oh no, there he is. I scrolled right past him. He's 50 on the big board right now.
All right. Well, I like it. I want him on the team.
All right, we like him over guys like Cody Mock, DeJuan Jones. We are taking the offensive tackle Darnell Wright.
Yeah.
Probably going to start on the right side, opposite.
He's 6'4". He's 6'4", 315. So
really good tape against some of those SEC guys. Good tape against.
He also didn't allow a sack for Hooker. I was still so sad to see what happened to Hooker at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Right, but that wasn't. Hey, I hope that wasn't my guy's fault.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I drafted him. So, hey, listen.
Oh, Dalton Kincaid at 44 to go next to Kyle Pitts. He's awesome. Kincaid, great ball skills. Manuel Forbes, most pick sixes all time in college football, goes to the Pack at 45. Nolan Smith.
The Pack still doesn't get Aaron Rodgers any.
No, it doesn't. He's pissed.
Rodgers is pissed. Oh, that's all right. He's on the Jets by this point. It's fine.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, the Bills want
the Bills. How do you feel about this one?
Why do the Bills want this pick? What do they want to do? They want to draft a quarterback?
Let us know in the comments down below if you've got any advice. Now I've got it all jumbled here, but I just wanted to check the comments really quick. Let's jump back to the correct screen here. Down 6 spots for a future fourth.
I think my next pick is 70-something. So.
You've also got you could get a 2024 second to move down to 98. The Browns like somebody right here.
Ooh, the Browns like somebody for sure. Wow.
Do you like either of these?
I don't know. I mean, unless you got something in mind, why not? I don't know. I mean, think about it. The Bills are giving you a pick for next season, which we're not even doing. So.
Oh, this is you here.
Oh, this is me. Oh,
yeah,
this is me. What am I doing? Oh man, this is so awkward.
Yeah, it's super awkward for you.
I got Brandon Bean on the phone, and I'm going to tell him no because I'm not doing a pick for next year, and that's going to be back to polls. So I'm not giving you my pick now. This is my pick.
Reject.
This is my only chance at GM. So I'm gonna.
Stefanski and the boys want to move up. We'll reject that one, right?
Yeah. No, I'm not giving you that.
Sorry.
You know who I'm liking?
Who's that? Big injury thing with JL Skinner. Doesn't look like that's updated yet. I think it's an ACL.
Is Cody Mauk from North Dakota State still on the board?
He just went.
He just went
to.
Did he?
Yeah, he's gone.
That's really unfortunate.
Where the hell did he go? He must have actually went a while back. Yeah, he went 37 to Seattle.
Okay. Well, listen.
Big run of tackles there from 35 to 37.
Yeah.
He could play guard, though, too, at the next level. We'll see.
Okay. Well, now we're in trouble.
Oh, Seattle loading up.
The Chicago Bears, we're in trouble on the defense. So, in that case, I'm really that safety out of Boise State. I think that
he did just have. It might not be updated. I'm pretty sure he just had a big injury.
He did, but he's 6'4".
Am I thinking of a different guy? Yeah, no, he's got a sick frame for safety.
What if I take Hooker? What if I take Hooker and I got the boys back together, and then Justin Fields, I got to explain that to him.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, you're gonna have to back him up. Okay, fine. If he had an injury, I don't want to take him. All right, fine. In that case, since we're letting go of Cody Whitehair, and we already got a tackle, why not get that D tackle? Why not get that D tackle? Yeah.
Dexter?
Yeah, Dexter from Florida.
Yeah,
he's seen too much warm weather. He needs to come to Chicago.
Yeah, bring him up north. He was like, if you looked at 2023 mock drafts like last year or 2 years ago, he was way into the first round.
The Lions didn't care about the safety.
Oh yeah, they'll take
him. The Lions didn't care about his injury. They
stick him next to Kirby Joseph. You're picking off Rodgers how many times?
Oh, Carolina goes with Hooker. That's very interesting.
No, they needed one. They did. I like how they took them there. Right. Browns. No.
I only have one offer, and I'm not waiting that long.
Oh, this is you again. Yeah, the Browns.
Yeah, this is me.
Browns
You're
like
next.
you. Yeah.
The Browns like me. Yeah, they do. So I'm going to go right here with I mean, this is the reason that they have a lot of time to think about it, because they're not like they have this whole thing on the I don't think I'm going to go defense, because I just did. I don't want to double down. So what I'm going to think about doing is I like that guy out of Tennessee, Cedric Tillman. I really do. I think that I'm going to go with Tillman out of Tennessee. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, he's looked good. He might be pretty good.
Yeah. See, I'm looking at a mock draft right now, and he's going at 56. So I can get up at 64. It's pretty good.
Yeah, 76 and 107 from the Pats.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually not something that I hate. Oh, I didn't mean to reject it, actually. That's fine.
There we go. Cedric Tillman.
But that's fine. I'll stick and pick. Screw it. Kalijah Cansey right here. Yes. Feels like a no-brainer, but yes. I just sat and took Jalen Carter when he fell. So I'm actually going to go with a guy who I think could play some big slot, and that's Deonte Banks out of Maryland. He can play on the outside as well. Every cornerback in this class is just 6'2", 200, but he's a guy who's got some inside-out flexibility and could be a real chess piece for D'Amico as he puts this group together. Coming back up at 73 here. No thanks.
Thinking back at that safety that was drafted by Detroit, the guy that you said had an injury, Skinner.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He's 6'4". He kind of reminds me of George Iloka, if you remember that guy.
I do remember George Iloka. He was sick on Cincy.
Kind of reminds me of him.
He was sick on Cincy for his first contract, and he came over to Minnesota actually late 20s, and I was so hype on the signing, and he was just a rotational guy. He never really I thought he was just going to come in. It was going to be him and Harrison Smith.
No, I know, but he was pretty good with Cincinnati.
But he was really good. That is a similar frame. I forgot about him.
6'4", yeah. I mean, one of these tall safeties, you don't really think of these guys being so tall. You think of them being ball hawks at like 6'1", 6'2", but 6'4" is
right.
Tall.
Yeah.
Those are for that position.
I've got 73 here and nothing else to 104. Turned down those. Whoa.
What did you say?
Unbelievable.
You get rid of the whole entire draft?
Yeah, I did.
That's all right. That's okay.
That's okay.
That's all right.
We ran 3 rounds there. That's okay. I'll go Tucker Kraft, by the way. He's a tight end. Let's see if we can just all right. I'll try and get us back there quick just so we can flesh it out a little bit more.
Give me that Indianapolis pick.
Yeah, right.
Wow, Tampa wants to give me 1950. Wow,
oh Christ! And I just skipped past the Colts one because it wasn't last. on this
Yeah.
one. Awesome. Because now it's just different. So let's
We're
just
good.
and we're good. We're good. We'll just fly back there. Hey guys, if you watch this after it's already posted, you can skip right past this.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I'll go slow with the next one.
This won't be a most replayed at all. That's okay. All right,
No,
here
it
we
will
go.
not.
All right, Indy.
Boom.
Yeah.
We got Indy. We can get hey, 75 ads. Accept. And they go Stroud
right.
again.
They got
Perfect.
CJ this time. Oh no, they're going CJ again.
Yep, perfect.
Okay.
Let's see if Jalen Carter falls to me
And
at
you're
12.
going with Bryce Young. They're going. Okay, it's the same thing. Gotcha. No, I'm not. I'm rejecting that and taking
Should
Will
be
Anderson.
similar. Oh, and they went Miles Murphy. It should be the same exact thing. Maybe that's just
It
how they
should
split
be.
it.
That would be really weird if it wasn't. Should
Yeah.
I take Jalen this time?
Yeah.
No, I'm taking
Will Anderson. Jalen Carter went 6. Okay.
That's so
I actually
weird.
like this better.
So weird.
Screw it.
I do like it better. It's more realistic.
Skip the last 15 minutes if you're right here.
You don't get them this time.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
So I can move down to 21. Yeah, I don't get him this time. Maybe I'll move down.
Mhm.
I'll move down 9 picks.
Okay.
And we'll move down to 21. We'll reject these. And
I just hope that when I'm up, like my guys are still there. Ooh, look, Torrance is right there. I want him.
yeah, I
so
know, right?
bad. Yeah.
You like Torrance? I've got my franchise running back in place. I've got my franchise offensive tackles in place. Not a huge Foskey guy. I think I'm going to take the best defensive player on the board. Redundancy be damned. I'm going to take Brian Branch out of Alabama. He plays a lot of slot at Bama, can play some just regular too high stuff. But instead of that Deontay Banks pick, I went with I'll take Branch and we'll stick him in the slot here. Now this is going to go faster than I wanted it to when we're in between picks, but that's okay. So I did not get Jalen Carter. We went quarterback and then a defensive back.
Safety. Oh, yeah, safety.
So sitting at 33. Again, I like the value of Darnell Washington right here, but I'm going to go in a different direction and take Drew Sanders, who I think is going to be really versatile. He only played a little over 40 snaps off the ball at Bama in his 2 seasons before transferring to Arkansas. 710 snaps at off-ball linebacker this season, and really came into his own. But he could be 6'5", 245. He could be something of the ilk of kind of a Micah Parsons, where he can play off ball, he can play on the edge, depending on where you need him most. And I think that versatility would really help. Do you like this trade down here, 2 spots for pick 123?
Yeah, I kind of like it a lot too.
Okay.
I think I'm going to accept it. I'm going to accept that one. Yeah, I like that.
That one. Get a little.
Oh my God! You know what though? That's fine. Because I was thinking about it before. I'm going to go with who I had before, if that's still on the board. Because otherwise, that's kind of weird. Yeah, reject all that. I'll take if the guy's still on the board from before.
Was this Darnell Wright you took here?
Yeah, I took Darnell Wright. Is he still there?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So I got him. That's fine.
We'll smash that. And then I think this is then where you took it's that terrible Cleveland one again. This is where you took Javon Dexter, who's now gone. Siaki Ika's still on the board at defensive tackle.
Oh, the Baylor guy?
The Baylor guy's still there.
Baylor guy. He's basically the same thing.
Cool. We will.
I mean, they might be, more known for basketball. That's fine.
Take Siaki. Yeah, we'll take Siaki Ika. Not a huge fan of the Steelers trade down. F the Titans.
The Titans are trying to trade with you. You're just like, F you.
Get out of here, Titans.
Not trading with you at all.
We're hanging right up, and we are going to go with this is where I might go a little bit back and forth. Expiring deal playing center for us right now is Justin Britt, converted center, played tackle in college, an all-pro season at center in Seattle in 2016, but we're going to go with JMS, the Golden Gopher,
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
potentially the best interior offensive lineman in the draft. John Michael Schmitz out of
Yeah,
Minnesota.
Washington. I'm definitely gonna do that pick. It's actually not the horrible. That's not the worst thing ever. To get a second next year is not horrible, but as I said, this is my only chance, so I'm not doing that.
Yeah, we're doing the one
yeah,
season. Right?
I only have 1 year. Why would I trade?
Yep. Yeah, Poles is on the hot seat. We got to fix him this year. Sorry, Washington.
Yeah, sorry. I mean,
do you like Tillman here still?
We're almost there. Is he still there?
He is, yep.
Well, in that case, yeah. I mean, I want to get my guys.
Cool. We'll slam
Tillman
again.
Tillman.
And then I think this is where I was starting to mull things over, and I hadn't picked yet. So we just went trenches with John Michael Schmitz. We went edge with Drew Sanders. And this is a spot where I like to shore up the interior, replace a guy like Malik Collins and get a difference maker on the interior in Feldman's freak, Mozzie Smith out of Michigan. Bears are on the clock at 79. Do you like 99 and a fourth from San Fran?
No, I'm going my pick.
90 and a fourth.
I forget. Did I get a receiver in this draft yet?
Tillman. We just took Tillman.
Oh, Tillman. That's right. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Good.
Yep.
I'm glad I still have him.
We're good there. Yep.
Okay,
so we've got off the board for you. It's Will Anderson, Darnell Wright.
That's good.
Siaki Ika, and Cedric Tillman.
It's a good draft so far. I think Bears fans will like me. Now I'm going to go with we need some more defensive help. So I'm going to go with Eli Ricks out of Alabama. I think he's got that Nick Saban energy to him, and I think that they need a lot of help in that secondary. So we'll go with the corner.
Yeah, he could have a pretty high ceiling as well.
And now we traded, so we get the first pick in the 4th round.
Yes.
Awesome.
103.
That's good. All right, cool. We're kind of getting into uncharted territory now. I don't really need another receiver because remember I'm signing DJ Chark and we're also getting Dalton Schultz and then we got Tillman. So it's a tough one here because there's like the top 3 are all like skill positions on offense.
Yeah.
But what I'm thinking,
Montgomery might walk, I guess.
Yeah, potentially. What I'm thinking here is I'm gonna get. I don't know how to say that guy's name out of Northwestern. But I like him because he's gonna be like the protege of Will Anderson. I like it. Let's go with it.
Yeah. So 6'2". He's listed 6'2", 280, but we've seen him at 6'2", 265 in the past. And this looks like
a high motor. I like
a lot of room to grow. A lot of room to grow.
He does have a lot of room to grow. He's going to grow under my first overall pick.
Big Ten guy.
Let's go.
We like the pedigree. Sure, Carolina. Sure, I'll take an extra mid-round pick and a guy who. Listen, I'm gonna. There's so many needs on this team, and I've got another pick coming up here at. I think it's 138.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a ways out. I'm not going to skip the value here. I love the linebacker out of Washington State, Deion Henley.
You know what's awesome?
But Will McDonald out of Iowa State too. Go ahead.
I'm at a mock draft right now, and I got the Bills taking that guy I guess got at Northwestern at 91. So that's a really high value pick that I got. 103. That's awesome.
Yeah, nice. And there's 2 guys.
The Bills do get him. That's cool.
Yeah, either of these guys, I could see early 2nd round potentially. And I've heard things like that. That's Will McDonald, the edge out of Iowa State, and Deion Henley, the linebacker out of Washington State. Henley, from some serious analysts, has gotten Fred Warner type comps. No one's saying he is Fred Warner, but they're saying he has that kind of coverage range. Could be a real difference maker.
Okay.
And listen, if that's even a loose comp, I'm sprinting that card to the podium with D'Amico Ryans, getting my next hyper athletic middle linebacker to patrol the middle of the field.
Yeah.
Bears at 123. Who you got?
Yeah. So nobody's trying to trade anymore. So.
Yeah, I guess not.
All right. I guess I'll just take the running back that's at 90 compared to everybody else, just because Israel there from Pittsburgh, just because I don't know. It seems like, I mean, obviously we got David Montgomery, but it's never bad to. You never know what happens with these guys, so he could be a little stud of a player, and the top 5 guys. Yeah, no, they're all going way too far. Let's go with Israel.
Cool.
So yeah, let's get it.
You've got another pick here at 133. Could move down 22 spots for a couple more 6th rounders.
I'll do it. Yeah,
we need bodies. We need bodies. You good with 137 here?
Yeah, I'll take the 137. And okay. Ooh, that's an interesting one.
Offensive lineman of the year.
Yeah.
Olusegun Oluwatimi.
I'm loving him out of Michigan. I think we need that help. Just continue to protect Justin as much as possible. Get more bodies.
We will go with Olu, and now I think it's my turn to grab a running back. Yeah. And I don't know if you saw any of this action out of the Senior Bowl, or if you've seen much of his highlights thereafter. Tyjae Spears out of Tulane. It's ridiculous as just a mover. I mean, he's in and out. He's a great route runner.
He just moves well.
He moves well, dude.
That's good. That's what you want.
Fluid. He's in and out of cuts like nobody's business.
Nice.
And he's really deceptive. He's got great feet through the hole. He's got great ability in the open field, and I think he would be a huge addition to this group, especially when you've got a workhorse like Dameon Pierce. He would be a great change of pace back and a pass catching back to go alongside him. And as we pick here now at 147, a lot of this is going to start to be best player available, or whoever I actually have some coherent knowledge on. And I do like Tank Dell out of Houston. I've seen him go much higher than this. A dynamic receiver out of Houston. So I'll go with Tank Dell, Nathaniel Dell.
Yeah, reject that from Cleveland.
Reject that from Cleveland.
Yeah. Let's go with oh, you know what? I really like Jason Player out of Baylor as another defensive tackle body. Obviously we already got a guy out of Baylor, so some continuity there. I think we'll go with that.
Yeah, go with that like Washington Commanders approach. Just get all the interior D linemen from the same place.
From the same place, yeah. They have a really good defensive line. So let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
Then we'll go with
white cornerback.
Oh, Riley Moss.
Yes, and he's not just a sneaky athlete.
Yeah, Riley Moss is good, and I want him.
I
feel like every Iowa secondary player is good. Micah Hyde, Riley Moss. Let's go with him. He's going to return kicks too.
Oh, there's a name I can't think of right now. There's another Iowa guy. He wasn't like good. That's just going to really bug me now.
Well, there was that really good 3-point shooter that played for Iowa, and now I can't remember his name either.
Oh, I know. It's so bad, especially when I'm just looking at like hundreds of names and like constantly resetting my thing here.
That's fine.
So we're back on the clock at 175 for the Bears. You've got 175. I'm back on at 188, and then you've got 196. We've got a few picks in the 6th for each of us, and no picks in the 7th unless I'm
So right here, I'm really looking at Tyler Scott of Cincinnati as a wide receiver option for us. I think that you can just kind of continue to he's got to prove himself. Obviously, he might be a PS guy, but you never know. He might be sneaky fast. So let's go.
For sure. I saw some names I really like go
Those are
off the
quick.
board just now. But we're gonna see what we can dig up. I wish I could take Mo Ibrahim out of Minnesota right here. There
Yeah.
are there are people who have him actually as the best running back in the class, um, which it sounds nuts, but there are people out there who really like what they saw from him. Um, that would be cool. I love my Gophers, but I'm actually gonna go with another draft crush of mine, and that's Carl Brooks out of Bowling Green. They don't even have his measurements on here, but he's 6'4", 300 pounds, and he played over 90% of his snaps on the edge at Bowling Green.
It's pretty impressive at
It
300
is
pounds.
just a freak athlete, a really versatile frame,
Yeah.
and I think that's a guy that D'Amico would really like to move around across that
Mhm.
front. You're on here at 196.
Yeah, I see that. So right here, I'm really liking Jalen Green at Mississippi State as a safety. Obviously, continuing to shore up that they don't have anything on him. Continue to shore up that safety
Yeah,
room.
maybe
Then
a
he's a sleeper.
yep. Eddie Jackson starting to age out. I like Brisker, but yeah, they could use some
Yeah,
defensive
Briskers.
back help for sure. They have been kind of scraping by back there with the Kyler Gordons um, and the other guys they've put around like Jalen Johnson and Eddie Jackson and Brisker recently. Kindle
Yeah.
Wilder, those kind of guys getting a lot of snaps. Um, Here, there's another guy I was just eyeing. Hopefully he's still here. I don't think he got taken. Oh, perfect. I really like, and this is another. The Texans need as many bodies up front as anybody, and I really like Jalen Redmond out of Oklahoma. Sort of a pure three technique kind of guy, but he's a pretty good athlete. He's got decent tape. He has a really cool thick six. They call it a fumble six that he returned. That's probably my favorite
Oh,
highlight
a
of
thick
his.
six.
But he's a playmaker. And next here, I think we're gonna go with a member of the all name team. Take Bumper Pool out of Arkansas to go along with Drew Sanders. Um,
It's a
Kind of get
guy.
into that mix of the Jack Sanborns. Uh, in this linebacker group, we don't really still needs an identity, so we'll see who kind of rises to the top.
Bumper Pool. I didn't even know that was a human
Yeah,
being.
man, Bumper Pool is a guy,
Oh
so
my
we're
god,
taking
he's a
him.
guy.
Oh
That's
my
awesome.
god, I don't know if maybe I've just done more research on the defensive line, but some of I really like Keandre Coburn out of Texas.
Yeah, at this point, go with someone you like, man. Like,
I know. So there's that guy. I do want to get somebody along and again, this is pick 239, guys. So sorry about that.
yeah, but he
I'm
knows,
here
he
to take
knows
a
him. He
bet
knows him. He likes him. Why don't you take him?
right?
I like that pick.
Um,
All right, listen.
let's do it. So
Here
this
we
is a
go.
guy. This is a guy who would be a true nose for us.
Yeah.
And that's something I haven't drafted here yet. Uh,
Oh, I love my draft.
yeah,
And look how many of those I was able to trade up, trade down. That's beautiful.
and so I did get Mozzie Smith, and then we started going crazy along the defensive line, but
You have
that's
a
all
you have a
right.
2024 Charger first. It's pretty damn good too. Look at
Yeah,
that.
no, I like this. I like Coburn, Bumper Pool, Jalen Redmond. I mean, these are big school guys that will take a chance on, highly touted recruits.
Mhm.
Carl Brooks again is my draft crush. Hopefully, you start to hear more about him as things progress here. Dayon Henley's another one who might go as high as the second round. So I really like that value there.
Mhm.
Um, and John Michael Schmitz at 54 might be my favorite pick overall. Brian Branch at 21 is a little nuts as well. So
Yeah.
I really like the value on the defensive side. And again, both these teams have so many needs. Taking a look back at the Bears draft here, Will Anderson, Siaki Ika, the kid out of Northwestern. There's a
I'm
chance you
gonna
got
try to
three
pronounce his
starters along the
name.
defensive
I
line.
probably shouldn't try to do that.
Yeah. That's about all.
I'll try, but I
Yeah.
shouldn't. What is it? Oh man,
At a
Adebayor?
at a
Adebayor.
Adebayor,
Oh, maybe there's an A at the end.
a
Adebayor.
Debawar. But hey, you
Either
might have
way, he's my
starters on the
player.
defensive line here. At least two. Siaki Ika is going to be maybe a two-down guy. You know.
I thought of all the position like that they really need, and I just kind of hit that home. I just
Yep.
continued to go after that. So I thought
At
they needed,
64, just getting another receiver in the mix is great.
yeah.
And then yeah, I think
When I got my running back, it was just best player available. And then I went after some more. I thought that Israel out of Pittsburgh, that was just like that was a kind of a sleeper. And
yeah,
then the other guys are just defensive tackles, edge guys, safeties. They
my
don't need tight
favorite.
ends because I'm getting them Dalton Schultz and they already have Cole.
That's it.
You
Yep.
know what I mean? So like they don't need that. I think that
Well,
it'd be a real head scratcher to take a tight end. Offensive lineman we got, defensive lineman, edge guys, safeties, corners, running backs, wide receiver that I really like. So yeah, I think that was a good draft for sure.
yeah, no, I think this improves the team a lot.
Mhm.
You got three bodies that you added to the defensive backfield as well, even being some late round guys, but just to uh, generate some competition in that room. It's a lot of young guys competing for time. I think that's a good problem to have.
Yep.
Um, and then my favorite pick of this draft for you, I think, is Olu at 137.
Yeah, Oluolu's going to be good. With Michigan, but guy, he knows the system already. He's been around, hard nosed player, so I like him a
Yep.
lot.
Yep. I want to say he was a fifth-year senior, experienced guy, and again, offensive lineman of the year this year in the NCAA. So I like both of these drafts, and I think we add a lot of talent to these teams,
Mhm.
which is really the only
The
goal.
goal.
There's not a real. I mean, it feels weird to say there's not a plan, but there's not this. There aren't all these dominoes that were lining up with these teams.
We're trying to get to the point where these other teams have a plan, right? Like,
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. We want, we're just trying to find the light at the end of the tunnel.
Uh-huh.
We need a lot more talent on the roster before
We
we
see
see
that.
it.
Yeah.
So I think that's where we're at. The draft I think is going to be very heavily best player available for these teams, outside of the Texans needing to take one of those top quarterbacks with their first pick. Um, but with the Bears, I mean, it would Ryan Poles again. We've we've uh, we've seen him erase a lot of things. We haven't seen him paint or draw. We've seen him clear the canvas, but
Yeah.
we don't
Yep.
know what it's going to look like once he puts his stamp on it. So
Mhm.
right now, like where Ryan Poles is, might be exactly where every GM wants to be if they were given the opportunity to start somewhere,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, everything you see from this team
He's Ryan
3 years
Poles.
from now will have Ryan Poles' fingerprints on it. He got rid of almost everything from the past regime. The only holdovers really are like Eddie Jackson and David Montgomery, and I guess Mooney, technically a couple of the O linemen. But guys like, as soon as he got the job, Bilal Nichols is out the door, Khalil Mack's gone, Robert Quinn's gone,
Roquan Smith.
Roquan Smith's gone. It's just it's his team, it's his roster,
Yep.
and he could
That's the way
go
he wants it.
a number of different ways from here. I'm really curious to see what he's able to put together. They've got so many assets, they've got so much money. So they could improve a lot with just one off season. So and I think we did it there. We've got, just to refresh your memory a little bit on the bigger free agent signings for both of us before we got into it. Big extensions out to Laramie Tunsil and Titus Howard. Both tackles spots are shored up for the duration of Bryce Young is who it'll be in this scenario, for the duration of his rookie contract. Easy cuts, guys like Christian Kirksey, Malik Collins, potentially a guy like Mario Addison, maybe even a Jerry Hughes, maybe even a Steven Nelson. And then some of these priority signings, Samson Ebukam, sticking with D'Amico Ryans coming over.
He literally leads the league in tackles every year.
Yeah. Rocky Sin coming over from Indianapolis, who should fit on the boundary. Taylor Rapp to go alongside Jalen Petrie, Devin Bush to now go alongside Dion Henley in the middle. Mike Gesicki at tight end, and Nicole Hardman is sort of your gadget guy to go along with Nico Collins, who might play some X this season. And for Nick, he had 96 mil in cap space to work with, and some of the big priority free agents he went after were Dalton Schultz, a secondary safety blanket for Justin Fields, and probably a superior blocker to Cole Kmet. But that's going to be a great tight end duo for Fields. It'll help, something like that would help him to be succinct with his reads when you have options over the middle, options in the flat, big targets like that. That I think that would be something that would really ease the burden of a guy like Justin Fields. Another one's DJ Chark, who just proved his worth in Detroit on a prove-it deal, and now he gets a big $8 million raise to hop the border and play in Chicago. And Levante David will probably finish out his career then in the Windy City, and take the helm or take the baton from a long line of strong off-ball linebackers in Chicago, and hopefully kind of bring this unit together, get some leadership in there, and get a really good football player still at his advanced age. So, and those are the big ones for Chicago before moving into that draft. And again, they don't need to spend every cap dollar this season. They shouldn't. Not everybody needs a Jaguars offseason of last year, which, hey, it worked out pretty well for them. But you can use those cap dollars in the next season, in the next offseason, to trade for a guy. It'll serve them well to save some flexibility, especially when this is in a year where they're going to be seriously contending. You don't need to stretch yourself out and spend every dollar to field the best team you possibly can, when the best team you can possibly field is still probably going to be on the outside looking in of the playoff picture. So these teams just have to get better. That's the only goal. And however they end up doing that is going to be very interesting. There's a lot of ways either team could go. But let us know what you think down in the comments. Who had the best offseason? Which of these teams could make some noise next season if they do something similar? And what's your favorite move for either of us? What was your favorite draft pick? Let us know what you think. We're going to be doing these, I think, until we can't anymore, until some of these things have already happened in real life. So we'll do another couple of teams for next week. I think it makes sense to do 3-4, no? Cardinals, Colts?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we will do that. And I think, we can probably just do NFC, AFC again if you want to take the Cards. And I will go Colts, evens odds too.
Sure.
But this has been a lot of fun. This is an exercise we look forward to doing some more. And, hey, if you've got any input for us in the meantime, give us a shout. If you've got any input for us on what to do with the Cards and the Colts next week, give us a shout and tune back in. We'd love to work through this thought exercise with you all. And if you stuck around this long, thanks. I know it was a kind of a dense episode, a lot of numbers. There was also the tech snafu of me deleting our first mock draft, but again, hopefully you wound up skipping past that and we were able to prompt you to the final version. And what I'll do as well is I'll save these snaps of our mock draft simulator, the draft classes we wound up with, and I'll post these to my Twitter. We'll get them on Nick's.
No doubt.
And then we'll be able to reference these as we go back. You can kind of keep track of our offseason plans for your team. And these will only get more interesting once we get closer to draft. Once the combine's done, those mock drafts are going to be really, really fun. So stick with us for the rest of the offseason. And again, if you are still here, you've been with us this long, thanks for listening. We really appreciate you guys. And we will be back again next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central. Like, comment, subscribe. We are brought to you by Stadium Rant. This is Necessary Roughness. I'm John. That's Nick. We'll see you next week. Thanks, guys.
I guess.